Namaste Krishna Rao garu. Welcome to IYRTalks English session. I think through IYRTalks we are trying to give our frank and fair opinion about some of the very controversial issues that has taken place as far as Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam concerned. That is the adulterated ghee episode. So a lot of ever since the probe has started, it has taken different turns, and then CBI inquiry, then the chief minister himself has once these people they went to the Supreme Court, he has initiated a sit inquiry, and finally the sit inquiry has come. And in the last episode we had discussed about the directions of the sit in trying to punish officers who are guilty as per the sit inquiry. I don't know whether it has been properly inquired or not, but finally the axe fell on the then executive officer, Mr. Anil Kumar Singhal, and then the Dharma Reddy, additional EO, and then the chief finance officer, Mr. Balaji. And you are very fair and frank in trying to just bring it to the public what sort of officer Mr. Balaji is there. And in that we saw that Mr. Anil Kumar Singhal is an annual of transfer, and yesterday's paper says that he has been asked to report to the GAD. I think an officer of eminence and repute and highly devoted person, finally because of these political reasons, a good officer has been shunted out from the TTD administration to GAD. What do you think? How the officers will feel with this act? Because the zeal to work and the zeal to do, people will lose because of the political rulings and all that. Can you just elucidate on Mr. Anil Kumar Singhal's transfer on the sit report?
Yeah, there are two aspects to the whole thing. One is the criminal case, the second is the disciplinary action. In fact, I would recount something that happened almost all 50 years back. During the emergency period, since lot of excesses have been done, and after the emergency was over, Morarji Desai Commission, which came into power, constituted what was known as Shaw Commission. One of the institutions that they have inquired into was the Singareni Collieries, because at that time Jalgaon Rao was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and there were allegations some wrong things have happened in Singareni Collieries. At that time I was undergoing a training, just joined a service in the Infrastructure Corporation as an Assistant Development Officer. One of the officers, industrial officers who was with us told, what will come out of such inquiries, sir? Nothing will come out. Finally they will fix up some low level procurement officer and say he is responsible, everything will be closed at that level. These were exactly the words he used. Finally, that is what happened to the Shaw Commission. Finally, when it came, it finally went fixing up some small fellow at a very, very low level, and nothing happened to anybody up the ladder. Exactly the same thing is happening here in this sit. After giving so much of a hype about the issue, about the wrong things that have happened, what this sit finally achieved, it came up with a criminal case against the lowest level functionaries. If it is a case of 70 lakh kgs of ghee coming into a system, to say that some small level procurement officer and his assistants alone are responsible in terms of a criminal conspiracy for this would be not be the correct way of putting it in. In fact, the whole board and everybody should have been made responsible for such a bad incident. Second, let us take the Endowments Act under which the TTD function. Endowment Act very clearly says, I think it was 95B and 109 sections, that TTD will be governed by the board and the EO will function under the guidance and supervision of the committees of the board. So finally, where does the responsibility rest? The responsibility rests with the board and the committees constituted by the board. As long as the EO function within the directions given by them, you can't exclusively hold the EO responsible. Definitely will also be responsible. I'm not denying that. But to say that the board is clean, the committee members are clean, only responsibility lies with the EO may not be a right approach of going about it. In fact, I'll also relate another incident in this regard. When I was the EO on the very first 1 week of my going there, I went on Dharma Darshan to have a darshan and see how the queue lines were functioning. It came out by evening. When I came out by the evening, the press and others were asking me, what is your reaction of going through the general queue line? I told them, 2 incidents I am really interested in immediately addressing. One is handicapped women with small children. They should not go through the queue, they should get a darshan straight through the Mahatvaram. And he told, are you going to implement it, sir? Yes, we are going to implement it from tomorrow. The next day, the whole board was after me. Shivareddy, Bhaskar Reddy, Vijaya Bhaskar Reddy, all this. How can you take this decision? This is the decision of the board. You are just an EO. Why? How can you? I told them, this is my first-hand experience. You do whatever you want. If it means getting me out, But I am not going to, but as far as this decision is concerned, that's what I told them. Then, of course, the very next day, CM appreciated this, and it came on headlines in all newspapers, so they all got calmed down, because once the CM's appreciation for the action was there, there's nothing that the board members could do. So that is the amount of power this board and the board members actually wield and exercise. So to say that the board has more responsibility and only the responsibility lies with the may not be correct. I think the whole thing has become a sort of a tamasha in the whole thing. That's what I feel about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.